the motion will be brought on the screen. So this is the 15th IPSF African Pharmaceutical Symposium, Accept and Adopt the immediate final of what is live stream back on. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll invite the AFPS chairperson at the just ended AFPS in Kigali, Rwanda, to take us through his intermediate financial report. He has been made co-host. Point of order, VB. Point of order, VB.
Thank you, Chair, for the to remind the assembly that during the thank you, Chair, your role, your position, your comments, then at the end a thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. VB, for that point of order. So let me quickly. My screen visible?
It is visible. Thank you.
Is visible, right? VB, did you say it was visible?
Chair, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Get immediate financial report.
For the floor, I want also to thank everyone who is here on the call and ask to be more collaborative. Since the last time when we presented our intermediate financial report, it wasn't good at all because we had a lot of some mistakes in the mathematical calculations, which led some of you not to vote for it, and I appreciate for that, first of all. So I'll not be taking much of your time, but I'll be more focusing on your questions since most of the items that we have in the report was previously presented. Yes. So I'm starting on the funds or the amount that we received to be able to host the event. That amount are categorized into two sections. One section is for the registration fees. The second section of the amount we received is for the sponsorships that we received. So the first section you can see on the screen is the registration revenue from the international participants. So from international participants, was able to correct from the main symposium, readers in the training, and the PST, as you can see from the screen, was able to collect 65,510 USD. Yes. Sorry, I'm not able to. Thank you. Um, I'm not able to read extra looms charges of the extra nights.
Hold on, let
Yes.
me set the timer.
Kevin,
Sorry.
okay, sorry. It's okay.
You can proceed.
Okay, thank you so much, Chair, for the floor again. Charges that we received as per news, six amount from the extra single occupancy room. We received, I mean, the amount was we had this one. So we had also charge for our event where we received 772 USD for this section of extra charges. Continue. Yes, you can stop there. We received other amount from the local or domestic participants, which were the CS1 in the event, where for the readers in the training, we had only 10 participants from the local participants. Um, and for the main symposium, we had almost as 5 people who managed to pay their registration fees. And then lastly, you had the one person who managed to pay for the PSC, where USD for this local domestic participants registration fees. So as a financial summary, we managed to collect 4,550 USD for the readers in training section overall. And then we managed to collect for the main symposium 44,060 USD. And then for the PSC, we managed to collect 20,150 USD. You can rate in the Rwandan francs as you can see from the screen. And then from the extra charges, room extra charges, we managed to collect, as I said before, 772 USD, which overall totally, where we totally collect 69,532 K USD. For the transactional charges, which were 625 USD, yeah, we weren't able to, like, the individual was sending the amount, the receipt was showing the correct full amount. But 25, then if we remove this amount, we remain with 68,908 USD. Yes, let's move down. Then from the other revenues that we received, we had the sponsorships. I will not be talking because last time, but because if you have been dealing with the sponsorship mobilization, some sponsors they confirm on the minute. We see some of the 3 to 4 sponsors here on the sheet, like Rwanda NCD Alliance, and then we had Team Heart Rwanda who confirmed their sponsorship in the middle of the event. Then the sponsorship, you'll see people the services, and in the column of you will see zero as well. That means like they cover the expense, which doesn't need to repeat again in terms of the amount we received, because we weren't even sure of how much they paid for every individual. Yes. So totally we received from the SARS 076.37 USD. Total collected revenue in USD, it was 88K USD, which in Rwandan francs was 130 628 USD. So if I'm still audible, please you can show your time. Sure if I'm not
You are
lost.
audible.
Okay, thank you. We can move down. So this is the total revenue that we received. So this that we received is the one we try to remove all of the expenses. If we just expenses, we start from the readers in a training for the accommodation. We had 720, and then we managed to collect uh,
This meeting is being recorded.
yes, and 3 days. This lunch and the coffee break. It was for 3 nights, of course. Then we collected this amount, as you can see. So we had also, as part of the items, refreshments that yes, I see the screen again. Then we had transportation cost. That's all items that we had in the ARIT. So overall, we had 10,950,000 5 USD. We can move down. This one is for the readers in the training. We can move down. Next slide, please. Okay, then the other main section which consumed a lot of our budget is the main symposium, where we had 6 nights. We accommodate people for 6 nights, and then we had 79 rooms. And then, as you can see, the total of 288.83 USD. This is one of the that we covered during the main symposium, which included the welcome night, which included the hotel coverage for 20. And on 20, you can see we have zero on this section. That means the meals for this, I mean the lunch for this lunch and coffee break for this day, it was covered by the ROBC, the sponsor you saw on the previous slide. And this sponsor, he covered the whole service for this section. That's why we put 0. And then even on 21, the sponsor again, the sponsor covered the expenses. That's why you will see 0 in the column. Then on 21st, yes, on 21st, you will see on that day he did not cover the RA room and even the conference room. So he covered only the meals. You had to cover it by yourselves. And then on 22nd, where we went at the University of Rwanda, we had another sponsor who covered the meal for that day. So this is some of the key ones on this in symposium, the conference package on 22nd, and then we had also some lunch on 24th as well because the part of the main symposium. The 20, 21st, 23rd, 22nd, we had the cultural night, and we took our dinner in the cultural night, which is one of the items included also here, and it has its own expenses. And on the 24th, we had our gala night, and we have the gala night expenses alone here in the sheet. So we had also the printings where we use backdrop one for the yes, we had two backdrop banners. We
So
used
the time is up. Time is up. Will anyone want to propose an extension of time? Okay. Proposed by Napsessos Leon. How many minutes are you giving him? 5 minutes, okay. Seconded by Sifambi Boknafaso, okay. Okay, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you so much, Chair, for the floor again. So I was talking on the items that you had in the main symposium. You had in terms of the printings, you had also the feeder banners, which were the two, and then you had small banners that we use on the PD. I mean the campaign, the pad drive, and the fight the fake, and then expenses, and we had the Garanite expenses. We can move. That is the expenses for this particular section. Let's move to the next section. This is the next section, which is even the last one for the as part of expenses. We had the PS that we were supposed to go to first on the 25th, but that time we went to Genocide Memorial Site. Was the Memorial Museum, and then lunch and dinner. These were the only expenses that we had here, plus the transportation on the last parts. And then on the second day, we went to Kalongi, Lake Kivu. Then among the items we paid, there was boats, dinner, ranch, and transport. And then lastly, on the last day, we had transportation as part of the item. These were the yes, sorry. On the last day where I went to Fazenda, we had games. We paid the amount to everyone so that you managed to play your games, and then we had also expensive for lunch and dinner during that time, and then lastly we paid for transportation. Yes, this we use overall, and then but also other expenses that we paid for. It was the accommodation during the PST, where we had 68 rooms for 3 nights. And this is one of the key points that a lot of you had a lot of questions during the last hour. The money that we spent during overtime of our preparation as the team, where we had some meetings and we had some tour visits to visit the PST places. And then lastly, we had money we spent for drop off to our airpass, and then we spent other money for the sponsors, recognition flags, and certificates. Then overall, for the PST, we spent almost 25,020.44 USD. And then for the total expenses that we had, it was 1,030, 628, 800 USD. And then for the total, for the remaining funds, we don't have any remaining funds since we used all of the amount that we had to pay for all of these expenses. As you can see from all of these amounts well spent, like the amount we received and the amount we spent. And then as a clarification to the point that most of you highlighted last time, honestly, the sheet has a lot of questions and had a lot of issues. You will see, if you can see the last sheet that we shared, we had 7 nights like for the main symposium, and if you count well the nights event has a lot of problems, and the amount we said that we report that time, I can say we had a lot of other expenses not covered, and we couldn't spot out how much we are gonna remain with or how much plan the reservoir we are gonna be having. So that's why you saw all of that. So I will be extending the time for the questions if the chair allow, and then I will say that as lastly I will recommend the next AFPS hosters to make sure that they do their logistical plans as early as possible, and they try to put the fees which will be able to cover the mostly like 2/3 of the expenses that all of us will be able to consume. Yeah. And lastly, I will play for them.
Time
Thank
is
you.
up. Time is up. Thank you too. Okay, so we'll be having our Q&A now. So, like we always do, kindly use the speakers list to send in your questions. In the absence of any questions, we'll go on to vote. So all those against, okay, so there's a new comment from Kepsa Kenya. Kepsa Kenya, you have the floor for your new comment.
Hello, Challenger Kepsa Kenya. Thank you so much, Chairperson, for the comprehensive report. And it may be an oversight, is under the financial summary, I don't know if you comment about the transactional loss of $625. I apologize in advance if I didn't hear, but maybe you could explain that. Thank you for passing it back to you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Okay, Gideon, you have the floor for your response.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, Dr. Kevin. The question listen to the transactional losses. This is one of the most because a lot of people were sending amount to us and receive less amount, and their receipts show like they sent collect amount. That means it's because like you are from Kenya, you sent Kenyan shillings to us, and there will be like a conversion rate in the bank inside the that's the amount we recorded all of the small amount that we lost to every person, because not all of the people managed to pay the amount, because we had claims on both sides and they had their defending clause and make sure that you be accountable for all of those reverses. Yeah, so that's the explanation. And I think even the RWG are aware of that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Are there any new comments? Okay, I don't see any new comments, so we'll proceed to voting. So all against, all those abstaining. Motion carried unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Gideon. Your intermediate financial report for the 14th term has been approved. So, Mr. Gideon, do you have any words?
This meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded.
Then submit a new comment, then I call you, and then we'll. Okay, I see no new comments. I just say thank you for your cooperation and thank you all for your cooperation these past few weeks and for making time to join this session. The General Assembly is still ongoing, and so I would encourage all of you to please, the people who you submitted their names for the General Assembly, please do well to ensure that they join the General Assembly sessions to represent your member organizations. So please do well to submit their please, if you have any new comments, submit it through the form. Um, encourage them to join the GA session so that they can represent you and your member organization. They can contribute to the decision making. There are a lot of things being discussed, IPSF budget for next mandate, membership fees that you'll be paying for next mandate, and a whole lot of things, strategic plan, memorandum of understandings, and all of those things. Please do also join in all of these things and then engage in the discussions as well. I see a new comment from Famsayo Liberia. Famsayo Liberia, the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Chris X from Liberia. So my concerns have been raised to the just end of vote within the GA where our AfRO chairperson was not processed to be part of the executive committee. So what are we actually doing about it as regional office? Or maybe what the RWG is actually doing about it?
Okay,
Thank you, Chair.
so thank you very much for this. Motions Committee, would you want to assist in answering to this question? What the documents say?
Hey, can I just clarify the question?
Okay, so Daniel, so Famsa, you're Liberia, you have the floor for to
All right,
clarify
thank
your
you.
comment.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. Chris X. from Saju Liberia. So within the ongoing GA, we have a point where our approved chairperson from the RA from the regional assembly, that is the African regional office chairperson that was approved by the RA and sent to the GA. But now, the GA actually rejected our approved chairperson. So what are we doing about it within this regional assembly before we close? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so does it Motions Committee want to answer?
Yeah, I can look into it now. Just for clarity, Kevin, can I confirm that this has happened when?
Okay, so the nominated candidate for chairperson of the IPSF African Regional Office was not approved yesterday during the General Assembly, and he's asking for what interpretation of the ODs in terms of what the next steps are on this.
I'm not sure. Is Manchuri in the call? Is she able to respond on this? If not, I can look into the ODs, but it will just take a bit of time.
Okay, so this was a discussion earlier with there was a discussion today earlier on in the with some exco and then the motions committee for the General Assembly. And based on this, I would just want to quote some portions of the official documents on this. So just as a way of clarifying, in the official documents, it says that for the chairperson of the regional office, this is done. So just to paraphrase, like it's the chairperson is nominated during the regional assembly, and then they are elected during the general assembly. And so from this interpretation, it means that the regional office is to propose someone to serve as the chairperson, and the GA is supposed to approve the individual. That's the interpretation I have. And so I'm just trying to get the clauses on those things. Let me try and get the standing orders. Please do not leave the meeting as we require quorum to continue with this discussion. But Daniel, you can also check on your end as well.
Yeah, I'm doing that. So I have a section of the ODs regarding filling vacant positions. Can I confirm, Kevin, if I can read this to
Yes,
the
you have
assembly?
the floor. You have the floor to read.
Thank you. Sorry, I've forgotten my speaker's number, so I'd need to find that if I was doing it through the form. So
It's okay.
so yeah, of course it's a little bit there's a bit of an overlap between the RA and the GA, because of course this is a position that's nominated by the RA but elected by the GA. However, ultimately the role of the chairperson of the regional office is a executive committee position, so I would say it would fall under the executive committee filling a vacant position section of the ODs. So we've had the first round of elections, which, to my understanding, then has been unsuccessful, which will mean that nominations for those positions shall be accepted. So there'll be a motion to table the election for that particular office to a later time in the assembly. So currently, in this situation, your RA and also the GA are both still ongoing. So I guess there is an option where this can be tabled and you can release another call, second call for the position of chairperson. Then this will need to be shared with all of the members, in a fair way with sufficient time for applications. And then because both assemblies have not been closed, although this is the decision of the RWG and the EXCO, maybe my advice would be that this motion is tabled, and rather than having to close this assembly and then hold another election, you could maybe table this motion, release the second call as a regional office, and then hold the election again during another online RA, and then hold that election. And hopefully, if that can happen before the GA has completed, then there might actually be time for this to be voted upon in the GA. I believe there's another 2 sessions next weekend, if I'm not mistaken, and I think then they're concluding, but I'm not sure how they're doing for time. But looking at the official documents for the second round, you would need to release a new call, and then the motion would be tabled. So that would be the normal procedure. And then if for whatever reason, then the role is vacant after the second round has completed, then you would move to the third call, and the third call is decided actually by a vote either from the RWG or the EXCO. So in this case, it would be the current executive committee would actually vote for the positions. So actually, the second round is the final round where the ODs have an opportunity to vote. It's happened in the past, for example, on the year where I was chairperson of Euro, our treasurer, Isabella, was voted by the EXCO because it went to the third round of elections. So they sent a nomination form to EXCO and then we voted by email. So this has happened in the past, but for the second round, I believe we would still have an opportunity as official delegates to propose a new chairperson. If anyone has any questions on this, feel free to ask, but that's my understanding looking at the ODs as well as past experiences I've seen in IPSF. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that information as well. So basically what Daniel has been saying is that there will have to be a call released again by the regional secretary for call for applications for the chairperson. Again, the chairperson position is just a nomination that is done at the regional assembly. And so once you do the nomination, it will go again to the general assembly for their election. They are going to do the election. It's being the chairperson of a regional office also makes you a member of the executive committee of the federation. And so reason being why elections are done at the global level. And so a call will have to, so the next steps from this is that a call will have to be released again, and then people would be made to file nominations again for this role to serve as chairperson of the regional office. And then afterwards, if the regional assembly is not closed by then, but we'll have to open the call for a period or a window for people to apply. And currently we have the GA will be closed next weekend, and so we will have to do all this in 1 week But alternatively, if this RA is closed and we still open this nomination, we will have a Q&A session. So just like we've done this outside of the RA, we'll still share the nomination forms with all the CPs and SUs of various member organizations. Okay, their presidents as well. And then you would have a Q&A session like this, so this is outside of RA, but it will take this same format where I'm chairing, and then the candidates will come, they'll give them time to present their motivation and everything, and then there'll be a question and answer system. But this time we'll not use the parliamentary system, we'll use the IPSF finger rules. So outside of the RA period, we'll not do those closed discussions and all those things. And then we'll send you a Google form, and then you do a vote by correspondence, usually over a period of time, maybe over 2 hours, or that will be decided or determined. But if we don't close the RA and we have to do it in RA, it will follow the normal RA format where we'll convene a meeting. We'll use the credential forms that have been submitted already, and then we'll have an RA sitting. We'll have them present their motivation. In this case, we'll ask them to send a video so that they will play the videos, and then after the videos, we'll have a Q&A. You ask them questions, then we'll go into closed discussion like we are doing here. After that, you turn on your cameras, show your hands, and then we do the closed discussion, and then we go into voting again. So it will follow this format and approach if we are to do it during RE. But then we need to bear in mind that we'll have to give the candidates some time to file their nominations. And then as well, we need to fix a time frame for people to to have the RE sitting. And if we are not careful, it might eat out of the GA might be closed, and we have still not closed our RE as well. And so even if it's there's someone is nominated and the GA is closed, the person will also go into the normal format, and it will be a vote by correspondence in the General Assembly as well. So those are the options now, and those are the next steps. So we can table this as another agenda to a date that will be determined and decided after we have received nominations and gone through all the whole process and everything. But bear in mind that there is no current guarantee that it will finish and then GA will still be running, and then it will be tabled during the GA. So that is that. So I hope this answers your question. If you have any other, if you don't have any understanding, you can let us know, and then we'll provide you with clarification on the pending issue. Thank you.
Yes, Chair.
Okay, do you need any clarification?
Yeah, I need a clarification.
Okay.
So I want to understand if those who participated in the just in the RA election for the regional chairperson will no longer be eligible to vote in or maybe to be nominated, to be renominated for processing for voting.
Okay. So let me just try to confirm that as well. The eligibility. Daniel, can you help me check in?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Daniel,
Because for
yeah,
me,
I'm looking.
I don't have I really don't have much information on that now. But what I'm aware is that, hold on. Okay, guys, please use the speaker forms for your new comments. Okay, let me quickly share my screen. Okay, so this is the speaker form. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Kevin, can I give a point of information?
Yes, you can.
So Daniel motions committee for point of information. So this is in the standing orders 10.4, which mentions so a nominee may nominate themselves for one position during the first round of nomination, acceptance, or elections, and for one alternative position during second round of nomination, acceptance, or elections if they were defeated in the first round. So to me, and I can't see any other mention of this, so I can only see this point, which to me suggests that they have to apply for an alternative position in the executive committee or RWG if they were defeated in the first round. So based on this, to me, it seems as though the candidate, if they were defeated in the first round, cannot apply for the same position. They would need to apply for an alternative position. And I've never, again, I've been in IPSF for 6 years now. I've never seen somebody defeated and then reapply in that same election for the same position. So this isn't something I've seen before, and I think that's the reason why is this point 10.4 in the, I believe it's the standing orders, I'll just confirm. In the standing orders of the ODs, 10.4. So unfortunately, I think it's not possible. I think the only way would be, given that the GA is still ongoing, whether an official delegate who is an OD for the GA, they could potentially raise a procedural motion to reconsider that election. However, I was not present in the election. I mean, the GA has made a decision, so I guess there would have to be some valid new information presented to the GA that would change their minds. Yeah, but if we're going to a second call, then yeah, the candidate would have to apply for an alternative position, not the same one they've been defeated in. Thank you.
Chair.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We have a direct comment from FAMSA Liberia.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. Moses, FAMSA Liberia. With regards to the new comment regarding the eligibility of candidates, 10.4 is very, very clear with what it should be. 10.4 was created to give an opportunity to candidates who might want to alternate the position they initially applied for. Assuming I applied for RMO in the first elections and maybe I was defeated, and maybe there's a second nomination wherein there is an opening for RPO. This allows me to nominate myself for an alternative position during the second round. That's why I said a nominee may. It did not say that the rejected nominee cannot contest for the same position. And I also want to remind us that when you look at the official document that was adopted by the 69th General Assembly, there was a clause in the official document that initially that was very, very clear that prohibited rejected candidate from reapplying. It was very, very clear in our official document that once you are being defeated, you cannot nominate for that same position. But that section of the Constitution of the standing orders was amended and is no longer in the official document that is currently being used. To tell you that that was amended before that this new official document rejected the candidate to re-nominate themselves for that same position during a second round of elections. So I don't think this particular clause will prevent a candidate from reapplying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have a new comment from CAPSA Cameroon.
Thank you, Chair. And Ken's Kapsa Cameroon. I would like to drop my comments because my points have already been made clear. Thank you.
FAMSA Liberia, you have the floor for your new comment.
Thank you, Chair. Chris Exworth, FAMSA Liberia. So for 10.4, 10.4 is really it's actually ambiguous. It did not actually make it very clear or crystal clear that a nominee defeated in the first election will not go for the second one. I think what Moses just said, I just want to reinforce what Moses just said, that I think in the 69th constitution that was the 69th GA constitution that was adopted, it actually have it there spelled out. But now it was actually removed in both the 70 and the 71st constitution. So it actually that somebody who was nominated at first and was defeated can still nominate themselves for that identical position. Because for 10.4 here in this official document, the standing order, did not actually make it very clear, if the nominee cannot, nominate themselves for that identical position. So I think there was room created here for them to actually nominate themselves for the same position once more. If you haven't read it properly, it will actually tell us that. Because it was spelled out in the first document in the 69th, and now it was actually amended and it was taken from there. So I think there was a reason why it was actually taken from there, and we need to look behind that. And I think Moses actually make it very clear and for us. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. AEP Mali, you have the floor for your new comment.
Yes. Hello everyone. Sorry, I'm in the middle of something. So, thank you, Chair, for the floor. AP Mali Mali. Um, I I was just wondering if there isn't a way to sort this out because we have elected uh, uh, representative for our regions. And I would also like to point out that there weren't many members of the Afro regions. And I think this could also discourage those who are new and want to progress within the federation. And my last point, I will also like to ask the chair if it is possible to access the floor to the others more regarding how they feel and also uh, to also so they can have they say also on the matter. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So that was a new comment from AEP Mali Mali on that issue. So just a point of information, decisions made in the regional assembly can be overruled in the general assembly, and that is per the official document. And also, if you, I think from what I've been some clarity I've sought on, when motions, so let's say this election that has happened just now, if the day elapses, we cannot reconsider this motion because it's an election. I stand to be corrected, but that is information available to that I've been told as well. And so also on your comment, um, the floor is open for, in case anyone has a direct comment to make, the floor is open for the direct comment. And please let's just to let everyone know that the time allocated for the meeting is also up, and so just letting you all know. So if you have any direct comment, you can use the speakers list. Okay, there are no direct comments on the comment. So I'll give the floor to Ifa Togo for the new comment. I think this is Ifa Niger, right? So Ifa Niger, you have the floor for your new comment.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to correct also for the country organization who is writing IFAT Togo. It's IFAN Niger, as you said it. So
Okay,
thank you
we'll correct
for
it.
thank you very much. So thank you for the floor, Mr. Chairperson. So I wanted to talk about the situation of the nominated for the IPSF AfRO chairperson who has been refused by the General Assembly. I just want to support also what I pay Mali Mali said, since he has been nominated by I can say most of the Afro country. It will be better if possible if we can have or do something, if I can say it like that, for his nomination, since it's the Afro region who nominated himself. So I wanted to support what he said before or had said before, and thank you very much for that's all.
Thank you very much for your contribution as well. Um, I see no new comments. So I just want to give this information. I would encourage all of you who have submitted your how do you call it? Your credential forms for the General Assembly to do well to make yourself available during the sessions. The session schedules have been shared with you on your emails. Most of the time, the regional secretary has been sending the reminders on the group chat for you to join the sessions. The sessions we are in the most convenient time zone for the various sessions because most of the sessions are even the April region are staying up at night to join the sessions, even though it's night time there and all that. But those of us in the GMT time zone are um, not joining these sessions. And so I will encourage all of us to try and then join the sessions because it's in the sessions that all these decisions are made. Most of these motions, once a decision is made on the motions, you cannot go back to them or reopen some of these things. And so um, you have to join the sessions if to contribute to whatever is happening there. And so it's also our responsibility as representatives of our member organizations to make sure that we try our best to join these sessions and also contribute to the flow of the discussion because decisions that are made affect you. For instance, today we made decisions on the membership fees and other things for the next mandate. All these things are binding on you, and so you've been selected as representatives of your member organizations, and so you need to be there. You need to show up and contribute to the discussions because that is why you've been selected. I know that it's stressful and everything, but you should try and then be there. That's why a lot of you submitted 2, 3 names. So if you're not there, someone else should be there. There are still some sessions to go. Please do well to join in these sessions and contribute to the rest of the motions. Tomorrow, the session starts at 8 a.m. GMT plus 0. So please do well to be there. Don't miss roll call. And then you should be there on time to contribute to the discussion. I get all the sentiments from all of you, and I do share in whatever you are sharing across. But what we should all know is that it's the official document that IPSF uses in running the federation. And so everything we should be guided by the official documents in everything that we are doing. Okay. So all these things that have been churned out are all the activities are being guided by the official documents. And so everything that is being done is being utilized or has been guided by the official documents to say. And so definitely if these are possibilities that the official documents support, definitely you can bring it up. But a lot of these sentiments that have been put out and the clauses on in the official documents don't really support the things that have been said. Alternatively, for the next steps on the elections, we'll definitely confer as RWG and then also consult the custodian of the official documents, the Secretary General, and the Constitutional Working Committee as well to help us or guide us um, in the way forward on what we can do as a regional office moving forward on these issues. So that is the little I can say on that. And Thank you for your comments. I believe your comments have all been noted and have all been duly acknowledged. So, before I give the floor to Famsayo Liberia, I think I saw the hand of my regional secretary up. I'll give her the floor for a new comment.
Okay, Chair, thank you for the floor. Vivi Marriott, Regional Secretary. I just wanted to bring to your attention that we have a POI from Mr. Daniel Motions Committee. Thank you.
Okay, so Daniel has a POI. Sorry, I don't see the chat box, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel, you have the floor for your POI, and then I'll take your new comments. Famsayo Liberia.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I tried to fill out the speaker's form. It wouldn't let me click the submit button, but yeah, thank you for the floor, Kevin. So I guess to maybe respond to the comments that have been made in line with the official documents. So one thing I mentioned was about the reconsidering an election. So that's why I wanted to clarify when the election was. So 4.1.6H, which are the list of the procedural motions. For a motion to reconsider an election, the motion must be made the same day as the election that is to be reconsidered. So since the day has passed, it's not possible to reconsider the election that has happened in the GA. So that option is not available. So, and then to go back to the other point, which was the fact that they may apply for an alternative position in the second round. So I completely see the maybe misunderstanding here. So I've even had to go as far as to Google the and search for the definition of A, because I think it makes a difference in this case. So according to the Cambridge Dictionary, there's also many other dictionaries that I've looked at. May is to express possibility. So it's not a command. It doesn't necessarily mean that something is obligatory. So for someone that they may consider an alternative position in the second round, and given the information about the fact that the clause has been removed from the official documents, which is really useful to know, I don't think may is a mandating term. Yeah, therefore I feel as though technically that point in the official document is kind of obsolete, because just to say something may happen, something can also may not happen. It doesn't exclude it. So I think this is something that perhaps Kevin and the team will just confirm with the IPSF Secretary General and the Executive Committee. But I cannot see anything, having gone through the ODs, that explicitly prohibits somebody rerunning for the same position. It's just, I guess, that it's maybe recommended, if you can infer it that way, with the may. But yeah, I don't feel this explicitly prohibits it, but I guess this would be to discuss with the executive committee. I think the next steps now will be for the RWG to confirm with the EXCO of IPSF Global. The motion can't be reconsidered in the GA, so the next steps will have to involve a second call, and they will be able to confirm who is eligible for that call. The ODs will state everybody else who's eligible, because there's new eligibility criteria. The first round, you have to have attended a GA or an RA or held a certain position, but in the second round, the eligibility opens up slightly. So yeah, this will be confirmed with the EXCO, and I imagine specified in the call. So everything will be clear in the call document when it's shared. And given that the next GA will be next weekend, I imagine that document will likely be shared very soon. So I think you'll have your answers very shortly. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your POI, Daniel. So, Famsayo Liberia, I have the floor for your new comment.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Chris X reference at UL Liberia. So there's a concern, right? So the RMPO should not, since the chairperson for the federal region will be re-elected by the General Assembly. The RMPO shouldn't actually approve them when they have been elected by the federal regional assembly. Let me speak specifically to the African Regional Assembly. So if the approving is going up to the G8, if our chairperson is going up to the G8, if we have nominated our chairperson and he is going to the G8 for renomination, our chairperson shouldn't be uploaded maybe on our Vera platform. They have to wait first for the General Assembly to come to an end first before uploading the president, because now we already know that our chairperson elected is the person, and we already know as our chairperson. And I have this concern. If we also want our chairperson, right? So it's something. Okay, let me just table this. Maybe we can try to address and the first one. They try to address the first one. So chairperson shouldn't be uploaded on our Fira platform till that person is re-elected by the G8 before being uploaded on our platform. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Your comment will be noted in the minutes, and yes.
Thank you.
So maybe it could have been a motion submitted by your member organization, but anyway, okay. So just to give you a clarification, those are RA updates. So regional assembly updates that you have person A, B, C, D has been nominated. So nominated for election at the General Assembly. So even the core document, it's nomination for the position. You get it. It's supposed to even be tabled as a different agenda point and all that. There are requirements or information given on that in the parliamentary. I'm sorry, in the official documents on that as well. So yes, so that's just to give an information on that. So your comment will be noted in the minutes, and the next RWG would take it up, and then you could even submit a motion maybe in the next regional assembly or whenever, so that this can be looked at, or this can be in the motions and force to guide the RMPO's duties or tasks moving forward. So I see no new comments. So we have our last motion. That's closing of the 15th AfRO Regional Assembly. So the floor was open for discussion. The floor is now closed. All those against the closing of the IPSF AfRO Regional Assembly. Okay, all those abstaining. Okay, thank you very much. The 15th IPSF AfRO Regional Assembly is duly closed. And so, it's closed. I see a new comment from FAMSA UL Liberia.
Thank you, Chair. Chris Esquire from UL Liberia. So are we closing the 15 regional assembly without electing our chairperson? I want to understand that part. Or the GA will subsequently be open till we elect our chairperson, and then we can close. That's the last motion.
So our official documents allow us to hold a Q&A session outside of the regional assembly calendar, and then have a vote by correspondence to choose a new So let's say during this mandate, our RMPO resigned, and when our RMPO resigned, the RWG agreed on a candidate. We presented the candidate to you guys outside of regional assembly because there was no RA. And then we had a Q&A session with the candidate where some CPs and SUs were present to interrogate them. And then afterwards, we did a vote by correspondence to vote for an RMPO. If it was a chairperson, after that vote for nomination was done, the name would be forwarded to the General Assembly, and a vote by correspondence will be sent to all CPs and SUs, that's all full members, for them to vote on the nominee. So this is just a point of information that even if this regional assembly is closed, which has just been closed, we can, once we have a candidate for the regional assembly, we can still convene and then have a Q&A session with that candidate. Afterwards, the way we voted today through Ballotilo, we'll send you voting links via emails of the CPs for them to also cast their vote to elect a chairperson, nominate a chairperson, and then afterwards we'll send the name to the GA. Because right now we have just 7 days. The GA will close next weekend. Okay, and the GA will close next weekend. And as the GA is closing next weekend, the GA will not wait for our nominee before considering it. You understand? Because outside of the GA period or hours, they can still convene a Q&A session for the candidate because it's been done before. Last year, we didn't have a chairperson for EMRO, and we didn't have an external affairs chairperson. The RA of EMRO was closed. For uh, the GA was also closed, but there was a Q&A session, and I think in the month of October for the consideration of external affairs chairperson, and there was voted on. The same thing for the EMRO chairperson. The current EMRO chairperson was elected outside of RA hours and was voted upon during when the mandate had started, and the RA was already closed. So the RA does not need to be opened before we can elect or nominate someone. Once the RA is closed, we can still nominate and elect someone, just to provide you with that clarification.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. So by simple majority, the 15th IPSF AfRO Regional Assembly, by unanimous decision, the 15th IPSF AfRO Regional Assembly has been duly closed. And so please be on standby for CPs, SUs, be on standby for communication on the next steps for the selection or the nomination of a chairperson of the regional office as well. Also this week, 3 of us will be representing the regional office in Ethiopia. Myself, Israel, and Tiffany will be representing you in Ethiopia for the WHO for RC. This is a convening of the NKO. You can stop live stream. I know, but you can stop